I can't get used to random music playing in the background when I hit record, so it's like the the theme from The Naked Gun was about to start playing, and I'm just like, what? That was anyway. Yeah, I like it because I can record my voice over music, which is great, but it gets a little weird sometimes when I'm not purposefully trying to do that. So the whole point of me making this video, and it's probably not going to come out chronologically in the context of what's actually happening when it comes out, and I do that on purpose. I do it with my Facebook post. Ever since I realized I can schedule my posts, I will schedule my posts out because, I've heard people say, well, I can tell what you're going through. Excuse me. I can tell what you're going through because of what you post on Facebook. And I don't like that. I don't like people necessarily being able to tell exactly what I'm thinking or what I'm going through by looking at my Facebook necessarily. I mean, obviously, if I'm crying out for help, that's different. But anyway, I've been scheduling my posts out. And same thing with these videos. I've got a ton of videos I've never released. And they're all in my phone. And I'll probably, release them at some point. So, this week, I have one friend that's upset with me. I have another friend that's on the verge. I'm not going to say on the verge of what, but they're on the verge. They're on the edge. I got another friend that's going through. And all this happened at the same time. And literally got into the middle of the week. And it's like everything fell on its head. Everything fell on its head. Like, I'm like, what is going on? Now, one friend told me Mercury's in retrograde. I get it. Mercury's in retrograde, but by God, I just refuse to blame everything on retrograde, okay? So let me say this. And this is the point that I'm going to make, and I hope you and everybody else listens and hears and takes heed. Do not let your guard down, okay? When it comes down to that thing they talk about in the Bible about your warfare is not against these fleshly things. Your warfare is against things of the air, principalities, ideologies, spirits, things that are lurking, trying to maneuver and cause chaos and mayhem. We know this. It's not complicated. If you are, let me say this, if you're more spiritual than religious, which I hope you are, because God help me, I'm not even going to get off on that. But look at it like this, okay? We're up against things we can't see. There's things that are working, okay? You retrograde, sure, that might have something to do with it. It might. But if you talk to some of the religious people, sometimes they don't believe that. I don't consider myself religious by any means. I believe in Jesus. Jesus is my grounding. He's my base. He's my home base. That makes sense. I believe in the cross. I believe in the blood. I believe in that. But to dismiss the spirituality and to just simply classify it as religion is foolishness. And you're selling yourself short if that's what you're doing. There you go. Okay, back to the point. Don't let your guard down, okay? Because I went through, this year's been crazy, and it's almost, the other day I was just like, man, just throw the whole year away. Just throw the whole thing away. This is trash, but here's the thing. I went through a season of fasting. I went through a season of communion. I went through a season of daily prayer. All of these things to keep me grounded, keep me going, intercession for other people, all this other stuff. And then I literally watched me start to kind of wane off of that, and everything became comfortable. Everything became a little bit, okay, everything's good. And in that comfort, I let my guard down. And I'm not saying that's all that's happening, but I am saying it does play a role. It plays a role in the people you're around. It plays a role in your own grounding, in your own reactions, which, you know, the one friend I told you about, the reason why they are, I don't know if they're upset. I don't know. I'm assuming so. We haven't necessarily talked about it, but the whole point is there's a rift because of my reaction to something and how I reacted. And because my guard was down. Not to mention, during that same time, I was not sleeping like I should. I was not taking care of myself the way that I should, which made me weaker. So I responded poorly. I mean, it wasn't horrible. It could have been way worse, I'm sure. I've seen way worse. But regardless, it caused a rift in a friendship that I really treasure. So I say that to say, do not let your guard down when it comes down to the things you cannot see, when it comes down to the spiritual aspect of things, when it comes down to your friendships and your loved ones and all of these things. Don't let your guard down, okay? If you're praying and interceding and you've been praying and interceding, keep praying and interceding. Don't stop because everything looks okay. Don't stop. Man, you don't go to church just because you need to. You go to church to maintain. You don't just polish. It's just like anything. It's like I was telling someone earlier, we were talking about addiction and meetings and stuff like that. And you know, I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, and one of the characters on there, it evolved around this. And one of the things I said was, you know, going to meetings for addiction is maintaining. It's part of maintaining. It's not saying, oh, well, I just fell off the wagon last week. It's no, I'm maintaining. You could be 20 years sober. If you still go, that's good, because your story's probably going to bless somebody else. It's probably going to help deliver somebody else. It might help save somebody else from their own wreckage. That's the whole point. So it's go down to the basic of, why do you eat? You eat so you don't starve to death. You eat so you survive. Correct? Okay. So all of these things, we do these things to polish ourselves, to make us okay. It's not complicated. So being tuned in with God, being tuned in with what's happening around you, being tuned in with those things you cannot see is just as important. Those things are heavy. And there has to be a devotion and a commitment to praying and interceding, to working in the midst in a way that provokes God, that provokes angels, that provokes the elements of the universe to move in a way to prevent nonsense from happening. It's not complicated, but we let our guards down when we get comfortable. We, as a society, listen, we suffer from all kinds of stuff. I suffer from stuff. If I let it all out right now, you would be like, man, bro, like, are you all right? So we have to. It basically says, for our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. That's what I'm trying to say, folks. Like, we're up against stuff we cannot see. There are forces working in the midst constantly against our well-being. Because you got to understand what we're up against, who we are, what we are. You got to understand this. You got to understand this. And even the ones who say, I don't even know if I believe in God. Okay. It doesn't matter if you believe in God. Okay. Because if you were created by God in the image of God, if that is fact and that is here to be true, it doesn't matter what you believe. Believing is relative. Nor does it change the fact that those powers of darkness are there. These are the things that we're up against. So I say this to say again and again and again, do not let your guard down. Do not get comfortable, because there's always a fight to be had. And the thing about it is, even if the people you love, even if everything seems to be going fantastic, even if everything seems to be going great, listen to me. Listen. This week, literally, within one day, within a few hours, I watched my entire week. Everything fell on its head, and I'm not exaggerating. Between really two of my best friends. And I don't even know what else I haven't heard about. And then my own stuff that I deal with. Within just like a very minimal amount of time. Out of nowhere, out of the blue. Didn't make no sense the way any of it happened. Boom! On its head. So I say again, do not let your guard down. Watch and pray. What is it they say? Watch and pray all the time? Why? What? Why? Why is it that we are supposed to watch and pray all the time? I wonder why. Because we need to be on guard. Listen, this is not a fairy tale. This is not some alternate reality. This is real. And there is crap out here that is after us. Period. Take it or leave it. You can look at it from a biblical perspective. You can look at it from a historical perspective. You can talk to the people of old. You can read from the people of old. Guess what? They're all going to say about the same thing. We dealing with some stuff because that's humanity. We've always been dealing with some stuff. So don't let your guard down. Stay in prayer. Stay interceding for people. Be available for people. Especially the ones you care about. If you really love them, if you really care about them, be there for them, period. Because you have no idea what they're going through sometimes. Don't let your emotions get in the way of your blessings and good moves from God. And stay focused. But do not let your guard down. Spiritually, do not let your guard down. You don't want it.